but once again, I asked for New Testament. I don't mind admitting that I don't know. That's
Okay.
fine.
Now, in this one story, there's multiple contradictions. So let me start with what should be the easiest. Okay, um, when Jesus was born in Bethlehem, right?
Yeah.
After and where did Mary, Joseph, and the baby Jesus go after?
Well, one of the books of the gospel says they went to Egypt.
And where does the other book say they went?
I can't remember right now. If I'm being honest, I'm not gonna lie to you.
So Matthew says that they went to Egypt right after. The angel came, told them pick up the key, grab your shit and go,
Yeah.
and hide there until Herod is dead, right?
Yeah.
Because Herod was looking to kill him. The Luke version says that after on the eighth day they went to Jerusalem. They paid the temple tax for her having the baby so she can be cleaned, and then they went back to Galilee in their city of Nazareth.
Okay. What verse in Luke does it say after 8 days they went to Galilee?
I think it's Luke chapter. It should be Luke chapter 2.
To what?
I don't know offhand.
Um.
With computers, you don't have to memorize everything like back in my
No,
day.
no, that's. I feel like that's a bad thing. I have an actual Bible in front of me. I'm trying to like memorize it. Issued a decree that census should be taken out of the entire Roman
Hold
world. This was the first census that took place while
Wait a minute.
Quirinius was king of Syria, and
I'm
everyone.
trying to tell you. Wait a minute. So if you look in Luke, shit, I lost it. But where is? Oh yeah. So this is when they went to Jerusalem. So verse 21. So verse 21, verse 22 is them leaving and going to Jerusalem, and it specifies after when the 8 days were accomplished for the circumcision of the child. His name was called Jesus, which was so named for the angel before he was conceived and in the womb. And when the days of her purification, according to the law of Moses, were accomplished, they brought him to Jerusalem to present him to the Lord. But
Okay,
see,
so
Jerusalem, right?
where's the contradiction?
Hold on. And now they in Jerusalem. They have this conversation with this dude, and then they have a conversation with this woman. And then when you jump down to 39, and when they have performed all things according to the law of Moses, they return to Galilee, to their own city of Nazareth. Right?
Which verse?
Luke is saying that they after the birth, they went to Jerusalem. This is still infant Jesus, went to Jerusalem, and then they went to Galilee and their city Nazareth. Matthew is saying that after the infant Jesus was born, that an angel came to them and said, take the child to Egypt, stay there until Herod dies. Both of those situations cannot be true.
Why?
Were you infantry?
No. So this is my question. Let's
And you
say.
get a 30 on your ass, man.
Hey, deconstruction, bro. I just have a question for you, man. Let's say you and your wife have a kid, and you
Yes.
believe that it is customs to go to Dallas to have them purified, or whatever word you want to use. This is hypothetical.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say you got to go to Dallas 8 days after he's born to have him purified. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So, and one of your friends, and then Angel comes to you and says you have to go to Dallas to have him purified on the 8th day, and then you have to run off to Memphis. right? Until Herod's done,
Mm-hmm.
right? So let's say you have two friends. One friend just tells the story about how you had to have him purified, or one friend just tells them the story about how you had to go off to Memphis. The other friend tells them in more detail how you purified him first in Dallas on the 8th day and then went to Memphis, or that you came back. So it's not a contradiction to tell two different like angles
Dude,
of the story.
are you serious?
No, I'm dead serious. It does not contradict. It's two
Okay,
different
first,
perspectives.
your example was your example was a little mixed up there, so I couldn't really I didn't really comprehend it in the way that you was trying
My
to explain.
bad. My bad.
So
My
you
point
saying
is,
that? So are you saying that one friend says that hey, after Renz and Angelina had the baby, they went up to Dallas, and then they went through the purification in Dallas, and then they went over to Memphis. But then the other friend is just saying, oh, they just went to Memphis. Is that what you're saying?
yeah, my point is, one has less detail than the other. That doesn't make it a
Okay.
contradiction.
But here's the problem in how that doesn't work.
It,
One says they just picked up and went to Egypt. The other says that after the purification, they went to Jerusalem. They went to Jerusalem. Then my bad. So the purification happens in Jerusalem. Let's say Matthew forgot to put the purification in there, even though that's a whole nother bag that we can get into. Matthew says they went to Egypt. He stayed in Egypt until he returned back to start preaching. The Luke version says that they went to Jerusalem, then went to Galilee, and went to Nazareth directly, and that the boy grew up and stayed there, and that the family every year comes back to Jerusalem for Passover.
okay, so here's my question.
And then he's 12 years old.
So Nazareth is part of Galilee, right? In the region of Jerusalem.
So Jerusalem, no. Nazareth is in Galilee, yes, but Galilee is not in the region of Jerusalem.
So how? Okay.
It's
So
kind of like Georgia, Alabama. Atlanta is in Georgia, but in the state, I mean, yeah, Atlanta's in Georgia, but it's not in the region of Alabama. You can't. It doesn't work that way. The way their city states were set up back
my point
then.
is, just because they go there right after he's born doesn't mean they never went to Egypt, or that Egypt alone is not part of any of the other Middle Eastern regions.
You are grasping for straws to make this fit because Egypt was its own country. Egypt was it was his own nation, separated from Judea completely. Right? It was all under the Roman government, yes, but it was you couldn't just travel all willy nilly like you want to, or because they were under different rules. And at this time frame, and this is another issue, in the Matthew version of the story, Judea is under Herod the Great, which at that time frame they were a vassal state of Rome, whereas Galilee, I mean they were under Rome, but they had a puppet regime, whereas Galilee at that time frame was a vassal state of Rome, meaning that they weren't under Rome's government, but they paid money, a tax to Rome for protection and for Rome not to mess with them. Right? It's kind of like a mafia situation. So
Yeah, yeah. But
these
my
are
point is, chronologically, there's no contradiction.
there is a
I'm brother. I promise you. Look it up. Look. Don't take my word for it. Look it up.
I will not, and I have studied. This is one of those things that from my youth to my adulthood, I
Yes.
kept asking questions and researching and studying because I wanted to make it fit. But there is no way that it fits. This is a absolute contradiction. It doesn't even fit. When you dig deeper into it, you will see that his birth story has even more contradictions to it.
No. Just like earlier, where you were like, "Oh, I grew up being taught that math was a science," and then I revealed to you earlier that it technically isn't.
You can't take if you took the stance that if you misunderstood one thing in life,
I'm not saying it's periodically. I'm not saying it's periodically, but I'm just saying, just like that, I just want you to research it for yourself now.
I have researched it for 30 years. 30 plus years.
When's the last time you researched it?
This one?
Yeah.
Like, I think I did a video about it 2-3 weeks ago.
I don't know how, because chronologically, literally, it does not contradict. Like,
So
I promise you, look it up right now
no,
on Google. It will not contradict chronologically.
there's no that whole birth story contradicts itself chronologically.
Brother, I'm just telling you, look it up. Don't take my word for it. Look it up.
Look up what is the sentence structure that you put in Google that
Look,
makes you say this? Because obviously you put
I literally said Matthew says that Jesus went to Egypt after being born, but Luke doesn't. Why? Look it up.
why am I just give me your answer, dude. I'm not.
I just told you chronologically it does not contradict. Just because one perspective
You
gives you
have to
more detail
explain
than
it.
another does not
It's
mean
not
it's
different
not true.
perspective. That is not different. Where did you get that information from?
Just like how the tomb
Where
with the
did you
tomb,
get that information from?
because I mean crime scenes. You can look at crime scenes, dude. If one witness says the dude was wearing a yellow jacket and the other dude says, "Oh, dude had a gray shirt on," that doesn't mean they're contradicting each
That
other.
is not. The contradiction would be if one person said that, oh, they were at the grocery store, and the other person said, no, they were at the amusement park. That's
Not if
a
they were, no,
situation.
not if they were at the amusement park after the grocery store. It's not a contradiction. Chronologically, it's not a contradiction, bro.
Do you know what chronologically means? That means
Yes,
time.
it means time wise.
Okay, so how are you saying? So you have to be able to explain that.
I
What
don't. That's
what
why I
is
said look it up.
what is the chronological framework that this works in?
If you think me, a normal person, knows the precise chronological order of every instance in biblical scripture, you are sadly mistaken.
Okay,
Just look it up, man. Just look it up. That's all I'm asking.
let me tell you why what you are reading there does not work. So I see what you're reading or what you think.
Oh, but now you want it to fit what you believe.
No, 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 no. This is not what I believe. See, what you don't understand about me is that I just base on where the information lands. So what you're trying to say, what you found is trying to say and put it in some type of chronological order, that first they fled to Egypt and then they went to Nazareth, um, and the two stories do fit because they went to Egypt first. I'm here. The monkey wrench that's thrown into that entire situation is absolutely impossible for the birth story of Jesus to have happened at the same time that both stories are implicating it and
How
what
so?
create the chronological issue. So, hear me out. According to Matthew, the Jesus character was born during the time frame of the reign of Herod the Great. According to Luke, the character Jesus was born at the time frame of the census that was done in Judea by the governor Quirinius. Herod the Great died no later than 4 BCE. The census was done in 6 CE. So there's no way he could have been born during the time frame of Herod and been born during the time frame of the census done by Quirinius.
What do you follow the church fathers' writings?
Can you just answer that
No, yeah, that's why I'm asking
without
this.
answering the
I'm not saying believe in. Have you ever like followed or tracked with the church father writings?
It depends on what you're talking about because I've read many of their writings. So
Okay, so there was a writing on one of the earlier writers when this happened. He created the wrong time frame. That's why the BC and BCE, or the BC and AD, were offset. They're wrong. Jesus Christ was actually born around 4 or 5 BC, based on his time frame, and he convinced the world that it was that time frame.
okay,
So, so
if
I
he
mean,
if he's born in 4 or 5 BC, that would fit the Matthew story. But the governor Quirinius conducted the census in 6 CE.
So you're saying that they claim that he was born at the same time as the consensus, along with
That's the Luke story, that he was born during the consensus, during the census.
what verse? Yeah, I'm genuinely trying to like understand. No, I'm not playing games, man. I'm genuinely trying to learn.
uh, actually, it's the beginning of verse of chapter 2. And it came to pass in those days that there went out a decree from Caesar Augustus that all the world should be taxed. And this tax was first made by Cyrenius, was the governor of Syria. And all went to be taxed, and everyone into his own city. Joseph also went to Galilee, out of Nazareth to Judea, into Judea unto the city of David, which is called Bethlehem, because he was of the house of the lineage of David.
So it doesn't say that he was born. It just says that he came out of and into.
What are you talking about? This
It
is the
said he came out of Nazareth into Jerusalem.
when you keep reading this, this is the birth story. Chapter 2 is Jesus' birth.
Yeah. So where is the verse that says
And
he
to
was
be
born?
taxed, hold on, and to be taxed, his spouse wife being great with child, so she's pregnant, and so it was that while they were there, the days were accomplished that she would be that she would be delivered, and she brought forth her firstborn son, and wrapped him in swaddling clothes.
What? Yeah. What verse? That's
While
all.
they were there, she had the baby.
Yeah. What verse? That's all I was asking.
Verse 6, while they were there, verse 6 and 7.
So you're saying that Caesar Augustus' decree was later than King Herod
Then Herod's death, yes.
by how long?
At minimum 10 years. So the whole moving the Egypt and Nazareth timeline thing doesn't work, since he was born, he could not have been born in both timelines at both times, while Herod was alive and while this census happened. You have to pick one or the other. They both can't be right, which makes it a contradiction.
Yeah, I'm gonna look into this one, man. You really make me question this one.
Yeah. But it just can't happen.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely curious. But it doesn't check my faith. I'm just curious. But